The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of some OPTAVIA coaches or clients of OPTAVIA. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. I'm so glad that you're here tonight. This is an extraordinary night. We are kicking off this National Health and Hope virtual and live party. We have live parties happening all around the country. If you check out the chat feature, you'll see the city and states and where these parties are happening. And you'll also see the number of people that are inside of homes or places of work or worship where they're coming together in healthy community. And that's what we're all about with OPTAVIA, is to bring people together to create lifelong transformation. And we know that there's power in community, power to bring people together to learn how to live a healthy lifestyle. And tonight you're going to get a chance to hear some great insights on how to do exactly what you want to do in health, whether that's to lose weight, eat healthier, get fit, or whether you have a desire to create more optimal health and well-being in all aspects of your life. We're going to get a chance to share with you some simple principles. These principles were the same principles that I used 10 years ago to lose over 100 pounds. And after losing that weight, I began to see health and hope and so many more dreams and opportunities in my life. And so I began to take on the mission that was given to me by Dr. Wayne Scott Andersen and his wife, Lori Andersen, who are my mentors in this coaching organization. And I began to share that with my kids. And now my daughter's a health coach with our organization. And we have a whole family of coaches all around the country. And it's my distinct pleasure to be able to host this call tonight, to be able to share with you this amazing organization and the mission that we're on, to hopefully bring you hope and health, but also to let you know that there's help available. And the help that's been provided is by a leading pioneer in the area of lifestyle medicine and health coaching. His name is Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson, and his picture is right here on the screen. Dr. Anderson was a 10th physician board certified in critical care, and after a very successful career, after being valedictorian in his medical class, after leading a general anesthesia department at Dayton, Ohio at Grandview Hospital, he had an amazing successful medical career, but that wasn't enough for him. He didn't realize that he didn't fulfill what he really wanted to do, and that was to help America to get healthy. And so he began to venture out in 2000 to begin to pioneer this idea of health coaching and be able to help people to create health in their life by using fundamental principles and science and support and resources. And tonight he gets a chance to tell us a little bit more about why he chose to do that and the vision that he has to get America healthy and then the world. So please welcome Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson to our presentation. Dr. A, welcome to the webinar.
Well, thanks, David, and welcome everybody. Thank you all over America that are on tonight, listening and having these really get-togethers where you're bringing people you care about together to hear more about how they can change their life. And, you know, I'm pretty excited. And as David said, I spent the first 20 years of my medical career focused on reacting to disease. I pioneered critical care medicine and used a lot of medicines, took a lot of people to surgery, but never really got anybody healthy. And, you know, if we really ask each of us individually, would we want more medicines or surgery or ER visits or hospitalizations, or we'd like to thrive in our life? I think the answer is pretty clear. So that's what I've been doing. And it's funny because, you know, you said 20 years. I've been doing this now 17 years. So half of my medical career has actually been focused on helping people create health. And I can tell you the impact has been amazing. Lori and I were recognized last year for impacting over 1 million people's lives. And we're just getting started. We're getting ready to go international. This is a huge opportunity to make a dent and really start moving people to what really matters in their life. You know, we spend so much time pointing our fingers at what's wrong. And underneath is this community that you mentioned, David, that is changing lives. We're changing lives every day and changing lives in so many different ways. That's what's so cool about what we do, because we're actually putting people in position to thrive again in their lives. And I think so many people have lost hope. If you go to the next slide, you can kind of see that all I can tell you is that OPTAVIA stands for lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. And you'll learn a little bit about the habits of health, the system that I created over a decade ago that helps people one habit at a time change their health and change their life. And we know this. We know that willpower doesn't work. Basically, you can try something to lose weight using a diet, but all those things, if they're done temporarily, taking us out of position of what's important to us by doing something that's restrictive, the chances of success are negligible. What we do instead is figure out what's most important for people, ask lots of questions, and I'll show you in a little bit a balance wheel, but we find out what do people want, and then we show them how to get that. So pretty excited about that.
Well, Dr. A, can you just tell everybody a little bit about the background of OPTAVIA for those people that haven't heard of the program and how the company came to be?
Yeah, sure. So 17 years ago, I met the pair. I'll tell you, give me 1 second because I have these wild and crazy dogs, and I'm sure you can hear them. And they're not behaving themselves right now. So I'm going to
Great.
close this door to make sure you don't have to listen to them. But basically, 17 years ago when I left critical care, I was looking for a mechanism to help people kind of get their focus. And when I looked at losing weight and reaching a healthy weight and helping people, I knew that there was a parent company called Medifast that made fuelings. They'd done it since 1980, and they were very well known. They did a great job. What they didn't do is they didn't teach you lifestyle. They didn't teach you how to eat healthy. So that's the first things I did. I built a partnership with them, and as the co-founder of OPTAVIA, I literally started working on the other parts, the lifestyle parts, how to eat healthy parts. And so that's what's happened. And we brought on and started coaching our clients. We're attacking, as you can see on this slide, 70% of people in 2013-14 were overweight, either overweight or obese. That's over 2/3 of our population. So it's a huge issue. And I can tell you that when you're overweight or obese, you're at much higher risk for cardiovascular disease, for diabetes, metabolic syndrome, all these things that aren't good for it. In fact, 90% of basic cardiovascular disease can be corrected by lifestyle intervention. Now, can I make that claim that we do that? No, but I can tell you is that we help people change their lifestyle. They learn the habits of health. We use our fuelings, which are these amazing products that help people reach a healthy weight. We're going to talk about that. There's 4 basic components that we use. Each one of those components has a key role. Diets by themselves don't work. 85% of people gain their weight back. So we've really evolved. But beyond that, we've actually looked at the other parts of people's lives, their mental health, their physical health, their financial health. And if you look at the financial health of America, it's not great. But you can see all 3 of those form the trilogy. Go on to the next slide, David, the one that shows all 3 together, because I want to really talk about how these things work together. Unfortunately, I've been talking for almost 20 years about how we're about ready to see our life expectancy go down. And unfortunately, that prediction is correct. Now, it's not directly from obesity, not yet at least, but it's from, unfortunately, the opioid crisis that's in the country and in the world. And that's really a result of people not thriving anymore. They're depressed. They don't feel well. Their pain thresholds are different. And so there's a lot of symptoms out there that people do not have optimal health and well-being. In fact, less than 5% of people really would raise their hand and say they're optimal in all 3 of those areas. So what we do, we focus on that. And, maybe if we go, do we have the wheelers? That's a little later on, I think. But basically, our mind, here it is. This is kind of a wheel I created a long time ago that kind of lets people look and see where they are in healthy body. How are they in terms of their weight and their eating and their sleep and their physical activity and the relaxation? And are they in a safe and healthy work environment as well as at home? Do they have healthy mind? Do they have hobbies and community involvement and spiritual time and strong relationships, engaging at work and fulfilled? And then the third is, where are they in terms of their finances? And I don't mean just how much money they're making, because that in itself is only one aspect, but it's really, do they have the resources to create memories and experiences to be with their community? One thing that I did 2 years ago at Christmas time was take my family to the Galapagos on the National Geographic, and I had a ball, got to see a lifelong bucket list, spend time with Lori, my wife, and my 2 kids. And to do that, it wasn't, it was one of those things where I had both the time and the resources to do that. And I'll remember that for the rest of my life. And that's kind of what we do. There's so many great, amazing things that we help by not only helping people get physically healthier, reaching a healthy weight, creating optimal fitness, being able to move more, do more things, and get out and enjoy life, mentally feel like they're doing something that matters, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But also have the abundance to be able to have the time and the resources to do things. So there's 4 basic components that really dial in OPTAVIA. they're all necessary. You know, with all four of them, you have a really high predictable. That's why we say lifelong transformation. You have your OPTAVIA coach, you have the Habits Health system, the OPTAVIA community, and the feelings. And David, let's talk to some people that are living this amazing transformational life.
Great. First up, we have Nancy Straus. And Nancy, we'd love for you to come onto the webinar and tell a little bit more about your journey with OPTAVIA. And if Dr. A has any questions for you, we'd love to have you interact. Nancy, are you there?
I am here. Wow, what a privilege. Thanks so much for having me. I was getting really sentimental today, thinking back where I was 6.5 years ago. My life, it's completely unrecognizable from where I was. And when Dr. A explained about the healthy mind, healthy body, and healthy finances, all three have very much affected my life, so that the contrast is just staggering. Back then, I'm thinking back, when I was a hairdresser, I was on that hamster wheel, just working really, really hard, you know, sacrificing lots of time for money. I love makeovers. I love making people feel empowered and beautiful. But I was a yo-yo diet queen looking for answers, desperate. I had lots of pain, so bad it hurt to walk. I was tired, obese. I was really, really broke. My finances were a mess. And it all came to a head when one day I didn't fit on a roller coaster. And wow, I was that girl. I didn't know. I was in denial that it was really that bad. But yes, that roller coaster, I'm so grateful for that slap of reality. I really needed that reality check. And what it did, it caused me to call one of my hair clients who was a health coach for OPTAVIA. And I'm so, so grateful that I reached out to her. She got me started on our program. And not only did I feel super amazing quickly, but the results started really showing. My energy was up. I felt so good. And my hair clients were like, what the heck? Like, sign me up for whatever it is you're doing. And so early on, I think I still weighed close to 200 pounds. But I, after only 3 weeks, became a coach. I felt like I had the best kept secret. So I was really excited to help my clients. And I started paying it forward and going hip to hip with them. It kept me honest. I love the relationship building. I love doing it with my people. It felt really good, and it really kept me accountable as I was helping them stay accountable. What I did not expect was this to turn into a career that I absolutely love. You talk about makeovers. This makeover is from the inside out. I did not expect it to be a self-improvement kit. I didn't expect all the emotional, mental changes that happened. I didn't expect to have these kind of relationships in my life. I didn't expect so many children to get their mommies back, to get the love notes from couples saying, hey, we can hug each other closer now. You know, I even had a client able to finally walk on the beach again, which was her dream. So how cool is this? Like, to be able to reach your own goals, but help awaken your clients and help them reach their goals. I love the relationship of a coach-client. It is bringing me so much fulfillment. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite makeover. And I am forever grateful, not only to God and to my coach, but to you, Dr. A. Thank you so much for changing my life.
Well, thanks, Nancy. Just one last thing. So, you know, if you think we were 6 years ago and you think about how you're growing, because, you know, we don't really always talk about that, and it's something that's just so important to us. So how have you grown just being part of this and just being, as far as being able to cope? You know, the world's changing so quickly. People are just freaking out about that. How has that helped you? How has this helped you grow?
Well, there's so much self-development that just comes with coaching. I mean, first of all, the company puts out such great education on teaching us how to be great leaders and some of the habits to learn how to stop and challenge yourself before you make a choice. So, so helpful. Learning how to not get pulled into drama and how to take the high road and just be the best version of yourself. You know, learning how to not think so much what you worry about if you're good enough or if you're worthy or all that mental, the negative critic in your head, shooing that away and just focusing on the other guy. Because when you focus on helping others, all that self-doubt, it doesn't even matter anymore. You're so busy helping others. And I love that. Like, I did not expect all that stuff to come with my coach kit, but I'm so, so grateful. I don't even think my kids recognize me anymore.
Yeah, no, it's great. And, you know, just to watch your transformation, you know, we talk about lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. Just for everybody to know, it's not just the physical. Physical is going to happen, because we have an amazing, which you can hear about in a minute, our feelings. But bottom line is we have a system. And now Kristin is going to come on and talk to us about the Habits Health system and the impact it's had on her health and her life.
Hi, thank you so much, Dr. Anderson. I am just humbled to be among these people. I was struggling as a stay-at-home mom. I had trained and done several half marathons, and in that time actually gained weight most of the time because I would reward myself all the time with food, thinking, oh, I ran a really long way, well, I'll go get some nachos. Well, that doesn't help with anything, okay? So I was literally sleepwalking through life. I was just going through the motions. I wasn't giving 100% in any area of my life. And when I was able to use the habits of health to benefit me in a way that I never thought possible, I worked on the mental side of things and the importance of sleep. Sleep is such a big deal to me now. And so I make that a habit. Water. If I don't have enough water in my system, I can tell I feel sluggish. I have kind of this brain fog. I just don't feel right. And the habit of working on stress and sort of playing above the line, right? And keeping things in perspective and knowing that I'm not perfect and knowing that there are going to be stressors in my life, but it's how do I handle those from now on, right? I don't turn to food. I don't smash down my emotions because I don't want to deal with them. I have to deal with them now because I'm not taking that row of Oreos to stuff them down and then not acknowledge them. So that's been a real big change for me. So Stop Challenge Shoes has been awesome with that. But most importantly for me, it was the habit of motion. I had a really, really bad relationship with exercise. I would literally go work out for 2 hours, and then I would run through the fast food and undo everything that I had done. And so when I took a step back and looked at motion as something that I could do deliberately and save myself a ton of time, I got back hours in my day because I wasn't spending it at the gym. And I was able to take my dog on walks, and I was able to do things that were fun because as the weight came off, I had the ability to enjoy those habits of motion. And so I really love that one the most. But what I love about the Habits of Health are the calls on Wednesday nights. I just think it is just it's an extension of my coach. It's an extension of the book, and everything is talked about from the mental side to inflammation and everything in between. And so I just really enjoy those Habit of Health webinars because I think they're just so valuable, because sometimes you hear something from your coach or you read something in the book, but then someone shares it in a different way and it's like an aha moment. And so this whole program has been so instrumental in my overall change, and I had to pay it forward because I wanted to keep going. I wanted that optimal health, and I'm still reaching for it. I'm still searching for it. And so I just know that all of these different things coming together has really changed who I am as a person. And I have to share that with people, and the genuine smile, because I didn't smile a lot.
Yeah, well, you're certainly smiling now, and you look gorgeous tonight. It's great to see. It's funny because, people can do things on the outside, get plastic surgery, use makeup, but bottom line is the glow that comes from within is the glow that really matters. And just to watch you tonight is exciting. And you hit on something. Emotional mismanagement is the #1 killer in the world. It actually puts us in position to really have all the bad things happen to us. And what's great is being part of this community, being part of the Habit of Health, using your coach as a guide, puts us in great position. So now we're going to have Lee and Lana Battleship. They're going to talk about our OPTAVIA community, how important it is. I mean, you can see their core family there in front of you. That's their immediate family. But they're certainly, as first generation immigrants, they are an incredible addition to our OPTAVIA family and our OPTAVIA community.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ray. We are so excited tonight, and actually kind of went down the memory lane and just remembering 12 years ago when I first got introduced to OPTAVIA. I was an overweight nurse. Lee and I just got married. I was a critical care nurse, and he just started a business at that point in construction, and with the recession. So I was very stressed out trying to pick up extra shifts, had a ton of student loans because, you know, you mentioned the first generation, both of us are first generation.
You break it up a little bit, Lana. That's better.
Okay. So, and anyway, I've really kind of, you know, being a 23-year-old and already lacking hope in our life. I was very blessed that I ran into a friend who introduced me to OPTAVIA, and weight loss happened as just a natural side effect. What was the most exciting part for me about this program is the community of coaches and of growth-minded people that we got adopted into. And I'll have Lee share a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, we were, as Dr. A mentioned, we definitely understood the power and the value of community. I think
move the phone a little closer. We're having trouble hearing you when you don't.
We definitely understand what the power of community is, coming from an immigrant family. So the cool thing is now we had a new family, which is OPTAVIA, where we can grow, where we can come together and learn how to create health in our life. And what I love the most is right now we're actually upstairs up in our room, but we have about 10 or 11 individuals downstairs really taking hold of the community we have. And the people, some of the best people that I've ever known are part of this community. And that's the opportunity that OPTAVIA has given us. It's given us a healthy body, mind, and finances, but really the community has been something that has been invaluable for us. So we are so grateful to be a part of that. And we know we're not doing this alone. We can come together and be able to really move forward along with other individuals to create greater health in our life.
Cool. No, that's awesome. And it's great to see you, watch you develop, you know, go from being stressed out and now have two beautiful children, living exactly where you want to, having a ball. We got to spend last week up in Sundance together and at our leadership retreat. And just, it's so cool to watch what OPTAVIA can do. This community is here for everyone, and people can come in to help with their health or decide to join, which is really makes it great. And, you know, one of the great things about it is we started a long time ago. David and I were talking earlier about the fuelings and how important they are. And now we have a dear friend, Sharon Flesh, who's going to talk a little bit about the fuelings and why they've been so important, and also how her life has changed. Wow, look at those pictures.
Thanks, Dr. A and David. It's truly an honor to be able to share how my life has changed because of this. I've been in family practice for 20 years, and I spent my life trying to educate somebody every day in the office on what it meant to actually get healthier. Old-fashioned doc that I didn't want to just treat people with drugs. It wasn't working. But I found myself about 5-6 years ago in a place where I was totally ineffective as a physician, and it stressed me beyond. It was the only passion I've ever had, is to make a difference in the lives of others. And I found myself mentally in a place that I was unhappy. I was silently suffering, and I was addicted to Ambien. It's a sleeping pill. And I snapped at my family, and it was just, it was an ugly place. And yet I couldn't share it with anybody because all I ever did was went to work and then I went home. I didn't have a community. I didn't have relationships outside of those two buildings. And it was a patient of mine who met David, and he lost 140 pounds in 9 months. And when he walked into my office, I said, there's an opportunity here for me to actually help my patients get healthier. So he's done something that I knew nothing about. He did something without my help and got healthier. And it was a little slap in the face. And I said, teach me everything you know. He connected me to David, and the two of them helped me change my life in more ways than I ever imagined possible. Yes, I had a weight loss. It wasn't a lot. It was kind of irrelevant. It was 25 pounds, which was great. But you know what I lost was a lot of mental weight. And when I was able to share that with my patients, they said, well, how did you do it? Because a lot of the patients came to me with the need to lose weight. And in order to do it scientifically, it is to eat 6 times a day. But I don't know any person that I've ever met that can purchase and prepare and portion control all of their food and keep it to a calorie count that helps them drop in weight. and they can't do it through exercise, as Kristin said. So we have an amazing tool that helps people eat 6 times a day. They're all nutritious, they're all nutrient dense, they have no artificial sweeteners or colors, and they have probiotics and vitamin D, everything we need to create an internal system of health where the body can heal itself. And the energy that develops from that is, you can't explain it unless you experience it. The energy you feel when you start to put good fueling in your body and your weight just melts away, does something to the brain and to your well-being, that it encourages you to continue to learn and then use the Habits of Health system and the community and your coach to really transform your life. And my future is wellness, and I'm excited to be on the forefront of a movement that more people need to be a part of, especially inside the medical community. The fuelings were a simple tool, and I still use them today because they're easy, they're convenient, they're tasty, and they're not expensive. So it's the best of everything. And again, thank you to David and to Dr. A for just allowing me to experience this and to change my life. I mean, I have a family now outside of an office and outside of my home that I can rely on for anything. And so in terms of a full trilogy, using all 4 parts of the program like we just talked about has transformed my life in ways that I could never have dreamed before.
Yeah, and Sharon, you look great, and your skin looks great. You look alert. I've never seen you, and I remember when I first met you, you were really stressed out from the job, and just to see that transformation, people say, well, don't you miss being a physician? I know you're still working, but the point is, we're more physicians now than we've ever been at any point in our lives. This is really about helping people create health and optimal health and well-being, and as we're moving medicine into the third era, where we hope over time that traditional medicine will become alternate care, where only for those that fail. So just really excited about having you as a partner, and exciting about all 4 stories. So really in review, we have 4 major areas. We have the coach, basically to help you individually. 2 is we have the Habits of Health system, which is a transformational system to help you transform, learning all the habits in all the key areas. 3, we have an amazing community. We bring you in. We know that underlying structure determines behavior. So now people are together with peers, with colleagues, with coaches, with mentors. As you mentioned, we have a Habits of Health call where people can come, get on just like this and learn more from the comfort of their home. And last but not least, we have amazing feelings that help as a catalyst to move us forward. So I want to thank all of you. And here's a graph. I want to show this graph because it kind of tells really what it's all about. Your journey and success. As we talk about the trilogy covers all the key areas of our lives. We know that career well-being is 2 times more important than anything else, according to the well-being, the literature coming out of the Gallup poll group. We also know that if you see the health path, most people are on this current path. You see the red one. 70% of people are overweight or obese. There is a lot of mental health issues in the country, as we all know. And financially, they're not doing as well as they like. In fact, 50% of your friends probably don't really love their job and probably don't have enough to save to retire. So bottom line is the path in red is the one that most people are on, and they're headed from optimal health when they're born towards being non-sick and eventually getting sick. Instead, we're saying right now, whatever you're here on this webinar tonight, we can help you. Bottom line is we can put you on a new health path. You've heard everybody talk about how much we can improve all aspects of your health. If you're willing to take the time, raise your hand and say, I want to decide to be healthier. What we know is this, is if you become a coach and actually join us because you're now helping others, it helps accelerate the path towards your optimal health and well-being, as well as give you the opportunity to make, part-time or full-time income, depending on how hard you want to work. We know that this is an occupation, just like anything else, but we know that if you do that, you're in better position to be successful than probably in most traditional jobs if you're willing to do the work with your business coach, and build your business. So those are important things. For me, I can tell you that, I love being a physician. I love doing it traditionally back when I didn't have a family. But I tell you now, having the opportunity to be home with my girls, being able to spend time doing the things that are most important, yet having such an amazing impact on the world is something that I think that everybody should take a look at. We're really in love with people. We want to help them. We do a great job at it. We'd love you to join us. David?
Well, on behalf of Dr. A and all of the panelists and all of the Health and Hope Party participants, we just want to say thank you for joining us tonight.
This audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some OPTAVIA coaches or clients of OPTAVIA. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.